Welcome back. This is episode 18, I believe. The second part of San Antonio. So, the 17th episode, we covered getting to San Antonio and then what we did on the first 2 days. Just to recap, the first 2 days we went and saw the Alamo, saw the gardens around that. And then the second day we spent in a saloon/museum in the morning. And then went to the IMAX cinema in the afternoon and saw Get Hard. And that's pretty much what we did on the first couple of days. And let's dive straight into day number 3 of San Antonio Part 2. So, as usual, got up about 9 o'clock sort of time. Had a little bit of breakfast. And watched some Dog the Bounty Hunter for a little while. Because the weather wasn't great outside when we first got up. It's a little bit rainy. So watched a bit of Dog the Bounty Hunter, because who doesn't like watching Hawaii's finest bounty hunter catch people? It's good stuff. I still love Dog the Bounty Hunter. It's a good programme. Headed out about midday. Went to the mall, which is where the IMAX is as well. We had some lunch there. It's Chinese food. Who doesn't love Chinese? If you can find a person in this entire world that doesn't love Chinese food, then I will show you a liar, because everyone loves Chinese food. Chinese food is amazing. So yeah, we had some Chinese food for lunch. We had something like chicken teriyaki and rice. And then kind of explored the mall for a couple of hours. Because obviously, like I said, the food court was in there. The IMAX was in there. There's a lot of shops. So we walked around there for a few hours. Saw something pretty funny. There was a Victoria's Secret shop there. Which obviously, if you don't know, I'm sure you do. But if you don't know, they sell women's underwear and that sort of thing. And there was a guy stood outside Victoria's Secret with his very weird looking camera. It wasn't even a camera phone to make it look less obvious. It was an actual camera. And he was taking pictures of the cardboard models and like the actual plastic models in the window. And you know when you walk past someone and just like, okay then. And he was really into it as well, really getting involved with taking these photos. And it wasn't even subtle or anything like that. It was just literally stood in front of the doorway taking photos. And we were like, okay then, a little bit weird, but okay. So yeah, we didn't stay along there very long, believe me. While we were there, decided to use the IMAX again. Went and saw Fast and Furious 7, which was very good. Everyone knows about the Fast and Furious franchise. I won't go into too much detail about it, but unfortunately it was the last film with Paul Walker in it because he died just before production ended. So it was a nice film to watch. I've watched a lot of the Fast and Furious films, and because he's such a big part of them, it was nice to see him in one last film. Finished that after a couple of hours and headed back to the hotel. Had an early night. Again, the weather wasn't great outside. It started to rain again when we came out the IMAX. So we decided to head back, had a bit of dinner, and, watched TV for the rest of the night, I think. Didn't really do much other than that. And then, early night. Tried to make the most of the next day, obviously. It would be our last day, full day in San Antonio. The day after, we'd be travelling to Dallas. So again, got up about 9 o'clock, had some breakfast, and today the weather was good, so we headed straight out. We planned to do, there was 3... I don't know what you call them. They're not museums, but 3 places of interest. There's a good way of putting it. 3 places of interest that we wanted to do on our final day, which was the Ripley's Auditorium, the Louis Tussauds Waxworks, not to be confused with Madame Tussauds, because for some reason it's Louis Tussauds. And then it was also a 4D theatre, which we went to go to, and the person I was travelling with knew all about 4D, so she was happy enough. Little joke there, it's funny. So yeah, we bought a combo ticket. The hotel where we were staying at had leaflets, and we managed to get $2 off the combo ticket, which was pretty good. So I think in the end we paid about $20. First place we went into was Louis Tussauds. It's a waxworks museum, much like Madame Tussauds. The difference being that if you go in Madame Tussauds in London, you can actually tell who you're looking at. If you go in Louis Tussauds, it's a 50-50 chance whether you'll be able to actually tell who it is or not. Best example, they had the cast of Harry Potter there, so they had Daniel Radcliffe, Emma Watson, and Rupert Grint. And Radcliffe as Harry Potter, you can tell who he is. Then Emma Watson was kind of like 50-50. And then Rupert Grint just doesn't look anything like him. I'll put the picture on at the end of this, it's so funny. There's a really slim Batman for some reason. So that was something. So like I say, some of them were really good, some of them just weren't. It was Laurel and Hardy, which was really good, because they're recognisable. There was an Obama, which was pretty good. But yeah, some of them were so bad. You know, when we were walking around and it was like, how can it be this bad? So yeah, we spent probably about an hour and a half walking around in there. Like I said, there was a top floor which was all of them, and then you went into the basement which was like a dungeon. It had all like the villains and psychopaths and murderers and clown killers and all that sort of thing from famous films. So like you had Bates Motel, you had what else was there? There was just basically, think of any horror film. Chucky was there. Bride of Chucky was there. Yeah, pretty much anyone you can think of. Frankenstein, the werewolf. So yeah, we spent probably about 10 minutes down there. It was really strange. They had a lot of motion detection sounds that went off. And because it wasn't that big of a place, it kind of mazed around so that you saw everything. It wasn't that big of a place. So people in front of us were setting all the sounds off. And we were like, what the hell, we're not even moving. And it was just like going off all of a sudden. And yeah, it was funny. So I did that. Went back upstairs to finish off the top floor. The last part of that was a Passion of the Christ part, which was slightly strange if I'm honest. But it seemed very weird to go from Obama, Batman and Harry Potter to psychopathic killers and then back up to see like the Passion of the Christ. And like the Last Supper, and it's a very weird mixture, I'm not gonna lie. Louis Tussauds is a very strange place. So yeah, we kind of finished in there pretty quickly, and then headed to the Ripley's Auditorium, which is basically Ripley's Believe It or Not program in America. I think it's in England as well, which is all like strange world records and strange things that people have done, like world records. So yeah, you go in there and there's lots of different things to see and do. There was a very nice Iron Spider-Man at the front door, which I was very impressed with. And yeah, we spent about an hour in there. It's difficult to describe some of the things that we saw in there. It's very strange. But, you know, it spent an hour and a half and it was pretty interesting. And yeah, finished in there, went and did the 4D theatre, which there was 2 10-minute films. I think one of them, if I remember correctly, you were a polar bear sliding down. It was kind of like the film Ice Age in 10 minutes, and you were a polar bear that didn't talk. That's pretty much what it was. And the second one was like being in Mario Kart. But like, if you've ever played the game Micro Machines, which was on like the PlayStation 1 and the Nintendo 64, it's like that. You were driving around like a kitchen and driving over like Monopoly boards, and it was really cool. It made me think of the Micro Machines game, which I had. And yeah, that was pretty good. I enjoyed that. So yeah, we came out of there. By now it was about 3 or 4 o'clock. Headed to the mall again, had some food in the food court. I think we might have had Chinese again, to be honest, because like I say, no one can ever be bored of Chinese food. I would eat Chinese food every single day of the week if I could. So, you know, just putting that out there. If anyone ever wants to sponsor me and there's a Chinese food company, you feel free, because I will promote you to the end of the world. So yeah, we did that, had some dinner, and then headed back to the hotel really to pack, because like I say, the next day we'd be leaving for Dallas, still in Texas obviously. Very famous places in Dallas that we'd be visiting would be the site where JFK got shot, not Jeff K, and if you catch that reference, you're a Red Dwarf fan. If you're a Red Dwarf fan, I love you forever. So yeah, we saw the JFK shooting site, we went to the Dallas Indoor Zoo and the Dallas Main Zoo. Had a little wander around the shops. Dallas was pretty cool, but there's a pretty interesting event that happens in Dallas, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to spoil it right now. But yeah, something pretty interesting happens in Dallas. Not good interesting, pretty bad interesting. But like I say, next episode you'll definitely see that. And yeah, pretty much that's going to be where we leave this episode for today. That's San Antonio done. Ironically, this marked the 40th day that I was in America. So that was pretty cool. That meant we only had about 25 left, and we still had plenty of places to see and do. We had the Grand Canyon, we had Vegas, San Francisco, Los Angeles. So we had a lot to do still. Plenty of time to do it. And yeah, like I say, next episode's Dallas. Hope you enjoyed this one. Like, subscribe, love my face, because my face needs all the loving in the world. And yeah, I'll catch you next time. See ya.